Hello, my name is Dvon Rainey. I welcome you guys here to talk about prison rehabilitation programs. The idea behind prison rehabilitation programs is to help someone. So when you send someone to prison, two things need to happen. They need to get punished for what they have done, and they need to get rehabilitated to re-enter the society. Punishment is happening. Rehabilitation is not. People go to prison, do their time, come out, and remain criminals because they have no other avenue of express. Understanding that while in prison, there are rehabilitation programs that they can attend, but they have to meet strict requirements. Some requirements involve gang members not to be involved in gangs for up to 10 years before they can even be involved in certain rehabilitation programs. Drug addicts are the highest reoffenders in America because gone without treatment for so long, it becomes a disease. Once they enter into the prison system, drugs can be found, and most times do, or they make supplements that takes the place of their drug, offering rehabilitation programs to attack these at the source. Gangs, drugs, sex offenders, anyone that needs help shall get help. Understanding this means that you have to understand how to evaluate the prisoner. The proper staffing being allowed into the prison will allow better treatment. Yes, there's counselors and psychiatrists that are in prisons now, but the amount of people overwhelms the staff. So adding jobs would help the society out because that's one thing that we need. And I'm not saying put anybody into a prison and tell them that they can tell a prisoner you need this kind of help. But you have to have the certain training to be involved in these types of events. Now, when you take a drug addict and you put them in a program, the program has to be intense because they'll be going through withdrawal. And once a person goes through withdrawal, that's a very serious time in their life where two things can happen. They can get through it or they can revert. You don't want people to go back on the things that they used to do. Understanding this, you have to have that intense training. Just as gang members have to be protected, so their rehabilitation program has to take them away from the population, put them in their own population with others that are trying to rehabilitate themselves. Understanding that the mind is a strong thing. People use fear in prison to get what they need. Now, when you take fear out of the equation by isolating certain people, putting them in places where they cannot be harmed, they can take a rehabilitation program more serious than they can when you have, oh, I want to not be in the gang, but I have to watch my back because if I say I don't want to be in the gang in this general population, then I will get attacked and I will get hurt. So you don't want fear to be a part of rehabilitation. Now, I understand that threats can be made and probably will be made to any gang members that renounce their gang, and there's nothing that they can really do about that. You try your hardest to change someone, and it's always up to them. My next point is the new system that I would like to implement in the prisons. Offering GED programs to prisoners, which are mostly all prisons do this already, but I feel as though it should be better training. Not just learn a GED or get a GED, but after you get your GED, why don't you start on the road to getting a degree? You can work on so many things in prisons. Technology is amazing. I go to school online right now. So anyone can go to school as long as you get accepted. Now, there are certain community colleges that work with prisons to offer this to prisoners, which I feel in every state there should be at least one community college that goes to a prison and say, here are courses that we will send someone here to teach just to keep people out of trouble. Education is the strongest asset an American has. Understanding the world and being able to be an asset to the world is great. When you have education, you can take yourself to another level. Now, getting out of prison A lot of prisoners are faced with a really, really big task of finding a job. Even now in America, unemployment is at a high rate because not all of the people that are unemployed are criminals. It's just really hard to get jobs when there are no jobs. So while they're in prison, they should be in a program to prepare them to compete. If you cannot compete with the other person, you will lose. When you lose, you get down on yourself. When you get down on yourself, you go back to things you used to do. And when they go back to things they used to do, that involves selling drugs, pimping, prostitution, any of the above. Like their offense just becomes, like, I believe, even worse after they try. Because they get the idea in their mind that the world does not want me, so I should go back to the world that I know. So a rehabilitation program should have a program within itself to prepare these men to go out, get an interview, talk the right way, make eye contact, shake the hand, display points of themselves that an employer will want to see, because that's a major issue. Employment is a major issue for inmates once they get out because it's just so hard, And just because it's hard doesn't mean that you have to quit. And I love the fact that America gives people second chances and it offers a place for people that have done wrong, but you have to go and get it. It's not going to be given to you. The last point I have to make is funding. Now, America, necessarily, the government does not have an abundance of money just to throw at prisons to reboot their rehabilitation programs, but we have private sector companies in America that make a lot of money. And just as they done with the education, how they made sure that education is getting a lot of money for the future, they can do the same with prisons. Now, I'm not saying take every prison in America and start this new program. You can start this program with smaller prisons just to see the success rate. Now, once the public sees a success rate on something, they take it into mind that it works. When something works, you're willing to put money in it. But you're not willing just to throw money at inmates because you're thinking, why should I give my money that I work hard for to an inmate when I could put it towards a family? I could give it to the needy. Why not give it to the person that's in prison that's trying? Why not? That's my question. Why not? Having these private sector companies come in and give the first dosage will spark the fire. That's just what I believe. It'll spark the fire. And as it sparks the fire, it'll go from one private company to another. And after this company, you'll have donated books from this place. It doesn't always have to be money. Now, funding is in a sense of money, but it's also in a sense of necessity. If you don't have the proper necessities to do something, you can't do it. If you understand that you need books, you need paper, you need pens, you need desks, you need chalkboards, if all this stuff can be donated to prisons, then it can work. You don't have to have a brand new laptop, but you can have an old Dell computer to go to work on just so you can get your job done. That's all that matters. Getting on that computer and learning that. You have to learn to get ahead. That's really my main point of this new rehabilitation program is learning. Learning how inmates act. Learning how to fix it. Learning how you see intimidation in prisons and how you should attack it. Learning how to treat the staff and learning how to have the staff treat the inmates. That's just what I think. But, it's a very important issue. And I could talk all day about it because it's important, And it's something that I believe is gonna happen, but I wanna make it happen a little quicker. So I appreciate everyone that listened today, and I'm Dvon Rainey, as I said before, and have a blessed day.